Hello and welcome to the Reapers. So we're in our lovely AV-8B American Harriers. What we're going to do now is, for the first time, which is slightly worrying, we're going to taxi to the runway, take off and land, and it's going to be okay. So guys, how do we taxi this thing? Is there a nozzle steering? Is there differential braking?
Right, if you check your HUD should currently in the bottom right hand say NWS.
Roger, it does as well.
That means your nose wheel steering is active.
Beautiful.
If you press your nose wheel steering button that we got you to bind earlier, that should change to NWS high. That is your high gain nose wheel steering for things like carrier operations. Turn on the two-man.
Roger, understood. Okay.
That, you need to make sure that your we need to back away. You need to make sure that your nozzles are in the zero position. Otherwise,
check that. So the nozzles should be in the 50 degree position. You're on the ground.
Where do I find the nozzle position, guys?
On your HUD on the bottom right, just above nose wheel steering, you'll see two sets of numbers, one for F and one for N.
Roger.
N is your nozzle angle, F is your flap angle.
Roger.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's only if he's in V-stall mode.
You want to have at least 20 degrees for the startup.
Right, I'm going to try changing the knob. Oh, it changes when I turn the knob. Let's go outside and have a look, gentlemen. Okay, so I'm turning the knob that we found. Look at that. Okay, I can change it. What does it want to be on, chaps?
I would recommend leaving it at 50 for as long as you plan to taxi.
50%. Roger, we're there. Okay.
Idiot.
What's next? Get out of my way, too fast. I need to move this thing. Unless there's anything else.
You can reverse.
Set your flaps to auto.
Stand by. I've forgotten where the... No, I found it. Flaps. Oh, auto. They're 25. Too fast. 25. Where have you gone?
Copy. That's... sorry, hold on one second.
Okay, I'm gonna move. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move. Stand by as I move. No! If I put the thrust up, the engine doesn't work. Why does?
Because you need to take the right. The Harrier has a very special parking brake, because obviously in a VTOL aircraft, the parking brake isn't necessarily going to stop. A wheel brake isn't necessarily going to stop going anywhere. So the parking brake locks your throttle as well, so you can't accidentally take off.
Roger.
So you need to take the parking brake off.
You're gonna have to tell me how to do that.
Either hit the button or it's hidden just behind your throttle.
Go to your controls real quick and map
I've done it.
You should see a black lever extend from the front of your throttle.
Peer pressure has done this to us.
Yes, I can now throttle forward, guys. Tend to behave yourself.
He just wants to hover.
Okay, here we go. Look.
Let the man hover.
Yep, there you go. And use your rudder for nose wheel steering. And you're all set. Go ahead and taxi to the runway.
I'm still not entirely happy with that wheel brake thing, but okay. Follow me. And act like gentlemen, for God's sake.
You keep forgetting him to tell him to switch his throttle cut-off switch back to the off position.
It should automatically do that. It's been going back to the off position automatically for me every single time. As long as there's no little black switch extending from the throttle itself, you're good to go. Otherwise, every time you throttle back, I think they've pretty much fixed that, so that if you hit the button now, it'll extend, do its business, and then retract again.
I'm just going to test the wheel brake. Stand by. Yes, the wheel brakes work. Yay!
Right, I've just got a new jet.
Check out nasal steering high. Steering high as fuck.
This has got a hack on.
Yeah, Cap, if you got your anti-skid off and you press the nose wheel steering button, it's either anti-skid on or off. You're gonna go into high for nose wheel steering.
Okay. I'm steering perfectly happy, so whatever I'm doing is good. Come on, boys.
Yeah, you only need nose wheel steering high for carrier operations, and you have to be careful with it, because if you try and turn with it above like 10 knots, you're gonna hit the aircraft.
You guys worry too much. Too bad, stop lagging. I'm gonna come and punch you.
You're not lagging on my screen.
You did it for me. And don't you dare say it's captain next to you. It's pretty safe as I go at the back, so you guys line up all sexy like.
See us get this head start. Like.
What are you talking about? I'm hover taxiing.
Who's the granny that I'm driving behind at the moment?
I will slow down.
Yeah, you see
No, you cut me off. If I had a horn, I would honk it so hard.
Well, you might not have a horn, but I have sidewinders.
Cap, one thing you need to keep in mind with the Harrier is actually if you look out just out on the front of your nose, you see something and wiggle your nozzle steering. You should be on some sort of a weather vane.
That's highly unrealistic. I shouldn't do that when I turn.
It's just showing you which direction the wind is blowing and stuff, so you need to, when you're coming into land or take off or anything like that, you want to make sure that that's as straight as possible.
Duly noted. It's a bit 1930s tech, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a backup, right? So you do have a wind indicator in your HUD, but better to be safe than sorry rather than Harrier.
This is a good HUD.
It's got the accident rate.
It's a good HUD. It actually has useful information. It's useful. Right, guys. I'm now in my Harrier. I'm on the runway. Talk me through how we're going to take off. Where's my nozzles going to be? What are my flaps going to do? When do I rotate? Do I need to steer? Talk.
Alright, so for takeoff procedures, just conventional takeoff in a Harrier, you need to have your nozzles in the 10-degree position.
10 degree, roger, turning.
Now, one thing to note is that the idle power of the Harrier is actually quite powerful, so there's going to be an additional switch you also want on, and it will increase your idle thrust, and you could potentially move forward as a result, but you do want your water in the takeoff position. Oh. So you want that 3-position switch to be in the up position.
We haven't gone through water, guys. What does water do? Why have we got water on this aeroplane for a start?
Because when you're in vertical mode, the wind's not going through the intakes and the engine gets really hot.
Right.
Yeah, and it depends on... Yeah, so if you look just above your flaps control switch...
Flaps, roger, I see the flaps. Where's the water?
Look just above that, to the right of the stopwatch,
roger.
Is going to be your H2O.
And what do I want to set it to?
TO or takeoff position.
That's all the way up.
Okay, it's on TO, so go figure, roger. And then do I turn it off when I'm in the air? Is that what you're telling me?
Correct.
Roger. I'm good.
Oh, one other thing, don't bring up all your nozzles straight away, like gradually bring them up.
Why?
Because if you bring them up straight, like as soon as you take off, basically you're throwing away all that lift that you were just producing.
I haven't got any nozzles, and I've got them at 10 there, they're not turned on.
Yeah. So he's just doing rotation. Yeah, he's just doing a conventional takeoff, so 10 degrees it's fine. And as we take off from the runway, all you'll do is slowly pull your stick back as you're gaining.
And flaps 25, is that okay?
Yeah, if your flaps are in the auto position, you don't have to worry about them at all.
And looking for auto, they're in auto. Right, guys, when you're ready, we'll do a Grim Reaper's takeoff. No crashing or nonsense, please. And let's get in the air. 100 regards, Cap.
All right, fun times. All right, boys, make sure your nozzles are set to 10 degrees, flaps are in auto, brakes on, water in takeoff position. All confirm?
2.
4. 3.
5.
All right, go ahead and throttle up to about, I would say, 60% RPM. And brakes. Full throttle.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Jesus, it's fast, man.
Rotate at 130.
It's so fast. Cap is
throttle back once you're in the air. Once you're in the air, throttle back.
Oh, you wankers! That was tender. Cap's okay. Coming.
What have you done?
For some reason...
That'll be immortalised on the internet.
For some reason, it might have something to do with the fact that I flipped my Harrier 5 times, but it didn't quite control the way I was expecting.
Back to the vid, guys.
Yep.
Right, I'm on 80%. How do I check my gear is up? Is there any kind of indicator?
You should have above the gear button itself, you should have full orange, but up, full green for down.
They're all black. What does that mean?
That means it should be up.
Watch out.
Oh yeah, orange is transitioning.
Okay, come off the gas a little bit too fast so I can catch you up. Flying quite slowly.
Copy.
Do you want me to turn my water off now?
turn off your water, and also make sure your nozzles are in the 0 position, so full forward.
And you're below 1,000 100% throttle.
Okay, I'm below 100% throttle. I've got 0 nozzles. In all that excitement, I have lost 2 VAS. Looking for him.
Blaze out.
Just a note on the throttle. One of the first things you do after takeoff has got to be throttle down. The DCS switch, I can't remember the name of the system itself, but it's essentially an automated engine controller, so it'll total up all of the amount of times you spend at various throttles, and if it feels like pushing the engine too hard, it will limit your available engine.
Why can't I go 100%? What kind of aeroplane won't let me go for full power? What's the problem?
If you stop your engine.
Yeah, it's a very, very powerful engine. So if you go to 100%, it'll burn it out. And what will happen is if you fly at 100% for an extended period of time, you'll find that when you come into land, all of a sudden the DCS switch will not allow you to use the power you need to reverse.
Understood. Is there any way to monitor how much power you've used and how much is available?
Not currently.
Great.
It's just a whole thing, so there's certain things to do, like say you can have there's a special combat mode, you cannot have it on for more than 10 or 5 minutes.
So, let me, I don't know if it's truly modeled, but if you were to go to your one of your MFDs and click on the menu button if you're not in the main menu already.
Okay.
On the top right button, on the right side of the MFD, it should say ENG for engine.
Okay.
On that page, you're going to see a ton of information, but the one you care about for this particular subject is OT time or over temperature time.
Yep.
For as long as that is in the positive amount, you are good on engine power, but as that decreases, your computer will start throttling you on how much available power you have. So it could go into the negatives, which means you will not have enough power to, for example, maintain a hover.
Okay, right, so, alright, well, we'll just stick to basic flight on this, but that's something we're going to have to go through. Right, Cap, moving to echelon left off lead. Lead, can you take us back towards the runway? All we've got to do now is going for a landing, basically, and then we'll go into the next thing.
Alright, sounds good. I'll start a left bank, follow me in. I'm going to bring it up to about 75% RPM.
Roger that.
Let me know if you want me to do this a bit harder.
No, I'm at 90% trying to stick with you. Does anyone see any bits sticking out of me? Any drag?
Yes, lapsed.
Flaps are at 5, so they should be out. I'm going to go external and have a quick look.
By the way, he's going to be a lot lighter than you are, however, because you spent the last God knows how long hovering around.
Oh yeah, Roger, that would fine, yep.
I have 1,000 fuel.
It's fine.
By the way, green call. Yeah. When I took off, I had a lot of left bank for some reason.
Because you were arsing about on the ground.
That's probably because you were arsing about and
Yeah.
you cocked up your one of your landings.
No, I just did it again in a fresh one, and it just banged to the left again.
Check your axis, because sometimes down when you put pressure down on the stick, it kind of moves the stick to the left.
Yeah, do you have a dead zone? I use a dead zone to help me keep it straight.
Oh, it's done that. That's annoying.
You were probably putting in down pressure and left pressure at the same time without meaning.
What the hell? It won't give me full right deflection.
Okay, Tubas, let's start talking about this landing. What speed are we going to land? What kind of angle, ingress are we going to do? What flaps do we need set? Blah, 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 blah.
Right, so the Harrier is going to be quite the complicated piece of machinery when it comes to landing. So in most cases, you'll probably be manipulating your nozzles as you come in on your approach. So generally what I follow is, as I'm entering the pattern for landing at an airfield, so for example, when you turn in on final, I set my nozzles to about 50 degrees as I'm approaching, and then I also set my flaps down to the short takeoff and landing position.
Roger.
So that'll force your flaps down to a 25 degree position, and when you get slow enough, it'll drop all the way down to about a 62 degree position for max deflection of air.
Roger that.
It basically acts as a massive air brake. I'm leveling out now.
Leveling out.
Okay, I've got my problem fixed.
Alright, so as we approach the airfield and you turn on final, like I said, you want your nozzle at 50 degrees. As you get slower and slower, you'll want to decrease the nozzle position to about 71 degrees as well.
Roger.
And as you are about to touch down, most people will want to, for example, in your F-15, F-5, whatever, you tend to pull the stick back to flare, so you get that extra bit of cushion right before you touch down. In the Harrier, you are using the throttle to flare only. So you're looking purely at your vertical speed indicator. Right before you touch down, you want to make sure your flight path marker is just below the horizon so that you know you are barely touching down on the surface.
This is difficult. What do we do with our water when we're landing?
With water,
Landing
you want
position.
to... Correct. It'll be the down position. And that's basically it outside of Harrier-specific stuff. So at this point, you can go in for the landing if you want.
You lead, I'll follow you about a quarter of a mile behind. You call out everything you do, and I'll try and match.
Copy. Turning in towards the airfield.
Cap falling back.
Which runway are you guys on?
Don't have the F-10 map, but I'll be coming in from the ocean.
Okay,
13.
so yeah, it should be on your HUD as well.
Alright, so now we are entering downwind. We're pretty much in the circuit for landing. So let's go ahead and bring ourselves down closer to the surface. And let's also kill our speed a little bit as we get further down and going back to idle.
Idle. Can't do this in a Hawk. Catching you up, so I'm going to go air brake on for just a touch.
Yep. And leveling out a little bit.
Leveling out.
We're going to start turning for base pretty soon.
Yeah, I need to invert my nozzle thing, but yep.
Alright, turning for base.
I'll jump.
Alright, so your goal is to kill your speed as much as possible during this process. You want to be under, ideally under 200 knots
I'll jump.
as you're getting ready for final. So my air brake is now going out,
Air brake on.
and I am going to engage my flaps when I go underneath 250 knots. You could probably do it a lot higher than that, but for safety
Roger.
reasons, just
And we're going to Stovall.
correct. The flaps should be in the down position.
Flaps down, 25. Air brake coming off. Getting a little slow now.
Yep. Go ahead and move your nozzles to the 50 degree position.
Nozzle 5. Does it matter how fast you move them?
No, not at all.
Nozzles 50. Roger. What about a water? Change that yet or not yet?
Go ahead and change that to the landing position now that your nozzles are at 50.
Changing to landing. Roger. Tally airfield. Anything else? What should our touchdown speed be, or is that not relevant at the moment?
It's not terribly relevant as long as you touch down below 180, otherwise your tires will pop. Because the Harrier is a Harrier, you can land at 0 speed if you wanted.
Roger. So you just keep calling them commands out as you go.
Copy. So I'm lined up for the airfield. I'm on final. And all I'm doing is lining up my flight path marker with where I want to touch down. And I'm using my throttle to control my descent. So right now I'm still aiming to slow down as much as possible. I'm currently at 177 knots. Once I get below about 170 or so, my flaps should engage to the 62 degree position. Somewhere around 170 if I remember right.
Cap is 150 knots and has 60 degree
Landing
flaps.
gear. Landing
It's telling
gear.
me landing gear. Shall I put them down now?
Go ahead and put your landing gear down.
Landing gear.
Gear down.
And use your throttle to control your descent at this point.
Right, throttle.
Into the airfield.
Where should I trim this? Trim it level?
Trim isn't terribly necessary. You can use your AFC switch to trim yourself automatically.
Auto trim on. Roger. That's a good switch, like that.
And then, so it'll take control of your stick just a little bit, so go ahead and turn it off again, because you can basically say, I want my aircraft trimmed for this speed.
Understood.
Then turn it off again.
Understood. Right. Okay.
That was speaking.
There appears to be someone on the runway. Is that?
That's me landing right now.
Roger. You're a bit ahead of me.
Yep. That also will give me an opportunity to walk you through it.
What should my nozzle position be now? I'm about half a mile out.
So I just landed with 50 degree all the way in. You can put it to 71 to have even greater control.
Roger. Sync rate. I'm unhappy with my sync rate, so we can add a little power.
Yep. Everything at this point is controlled with the throttle.
Roger. Do I have a sync rate gauge anywhere?
So it's go ahead, Virgil.
I was just going to say velocity indicator, like the F-50.
It's on your HUD.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you use your flight path marker, or you can use the bar on the right side to look at your sync rate.
Roger.
It normally says like 1,000 for plus for positive and then minus 900 for disable.
Oh god, no wonder people crash this thing all the time. Oh, that was hard. It's okay, we're okay. I've landed. Woo!
Chaos on final.
You can't.
Runway
You can't.
one,
Oh,
Triangle taking.
that was okay. It was a landing. And I
Yeah,
did
you're not even
damage.
damaged.
How about that, guys? How about that?
You can't land faster than 250 feet per minute in December. Otherwise,
I didn't get. Sorry. Can we go? Where is that number on the dash? I couldn't.
so if you have your HUD in VSTOL mode,
Question mark. How do I do that?
3 lights, or see your master arm, above that should say flare cell, and then above that should say nav at VSTOL.
It does.
VSTOL,
It does.
the light,
does.
the light below VSTOL is your button, it should be lit up.
Right, I'm going to press that now. Oh.
and then on your HUD, you get FPM, which is
Underneath your
Yeah,
radar
I
altitude.
Is that my sync rate? FPM?
Yes.
Ah, that was where it was. I couldn't see that.
feet
No,
per minute.
I just
Feet per
turned
minute.
on too hard.
That's what it is.
There will also be a big thick white bar to do it visually as well.
Right, I'm pretty happy with that, guys. So not the best in the world, but we've got the general idea down. What we're going to do is go and repair or whatever we've got to do, refuel, and then we're going to start with the more intricate stuff. Stand by.